Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Raw Recap here on Pro Wrestling Sheet. I'm your host, John Rocha. And I'm joined this week, today, as always, of course, with the editor-in-chief of Pro Wrestling Sheet, Ryan Satin. He's thrown a lot at me this morning. My brain is spinning. He's going to do a lot of interesting things, which he'll be talking about in the future. But today, we're talking about Raw. How are you, man?
I am doing great. Hey, you know what I realized, Rocha?
What's that, bud?
Is in the episode that got corrupted that we didn't put out last week of Raw.
Yeah.
I realized that the one thing that we didn't address, readdress, because we did address it on the first one that got messed up, but we didn't readdress it on the Smackdown recap.
Right.
Is the seat change for those who watch on YouTube.
Oh, were people complaining about it?
Not complaining, just a lot of like, hey, you're not going to talk about the fact that you guys that you guys have switched positions here. So yes, you are not tripping out. We did switch seats. It was my call. I apologize for those of you who have had your world rocked from it. But I don't know. There was something about this side. I liked it more.
Yeah.
I tested it out during the Smackdown recap, and gotta say, I like this side more. I'm sorry, Rocha.
Yeah,
so.
well, it's all right. He thinks because I win most of our arguments that if he sits on that side, he'll win this argument. But he won't. He won't. We'll see how it goes down.
It's too fucking early for that, Rocha. Oh no, Scott Satin. I'm sorry.
There it is.
It's too early for that, Rocha.
It's done. It's done.
Me and my potty mouth. I'm working on
Scott
it.
Satin, what have you raised? All right, let's jump in.
But I loved Raw last night. Raw was fantastic. I thought Raw was a great show.
Raw was so much fun till the end. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Raw was a blast until the end. And that ending was like, I just wasn't.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, I don't need to see a 10-man tag match, but we'll jump into it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, for that reason.
That was my reason. Yeah. All right, let's jump into this thing. Steve Austin, as I said, he starts this thing off big time. Stone Cold Steve Austin showing up here from Madison Square Garden, walks right on down. Huge pop, of course. Love it. Got a new T-shirt that you can get on WWE Shop Zone, which wasn't working last night for some reason. I had a weird little icon when I clicked on it because the shirts were $12, and I was like, maybe I'll get that Uso shirt once and for all. And I clicked on it, and it was the New Day saying, hey, we're working on it. The site is down for maintenance. And I was shocked that actually happened at the WWE. Anyway, Stone Cold coming out, walking down to start the slobber knocker of a contract signing. The what chants start almost immediately, and it's incredible. Goes through this whole thing, talking about his time at MSG, talking about that match with Bret Hart, fighting The Undertaker, stunning Vince, all kinds of stuff. And the what chants are in full force, and Steve really lays right into them.
I knew the what chants were going to warm your heart. When I saw them happen, I was like, this is the one time where it's okay to do it.
Okay.
When it's Stone Cold there, it happens. It's going to happen. Yeah. I also like that Stone Cold is the only person who holds the power to stop the what chants.
He does.
Like, there's nobody who can be like, hey, guys, give me a second. And they'll be like, yes, sir, Mr. Wrestler or Mrs. Wrestler. But I like that when Stone Cold, when it was happening during the Seth Rollins thing, and then Stone Cold tried to take it back. They were what chanting him, and he went like, well, all right, everyone, hold on a second here. Let me get this out. And they all just like instantly shut up, which I love. I love that obviously it's Stone Cold freaking Steve Austin.
Yeah.
He withholds the power of, everyone has the respect for Stone Cold Steve Austin. The man speaks, you listen.
True.
But I loved it. I love this whole segment. But yeah, the just in general, him coming out and talking about his history at MSG and just the Vince story, it warmed my heart. Like, I love Stone Cold Steve Austin so much. He's one of the all-time greatest and one of my personal all-time favorites as well. And so to see him out there doing that, and I had watched a clip. Someone had posted the clip on Twitter of him doing the stunner to Vince for the first time, the one that he was referencing. I watched it earlier in the day, so I already had it fresh in the mind. And I was like, yeah, that was awesome when that happened. I mean, that whole thing, it was just great where it was like, he was talking about all right, well, I'll step in line. I know you guys want me to step in line. And then Vince takes the mic back and he's like, yeah, great. You'll step in line. And he does that thing with the mic where he pulls it back. No. And he has to finish his thought. I went like, God, Stone Cold is so captivating on screen. And it's crazy that was however long ago now. And he's just as captivating when he wants to be. I mean, when he intros Braun Strowman and Braun Strowman comes out and Braun Strowman puts the handshake out there, even though he was talking kind of a little bit of smack about Stone Cold the week before on Raw. Yeah. And Stone Cold tweeted about how he saw it. And just that moment, I love that Stone Cold can make you want to see him wrestle someone without even speaking. If he doesn't want to, he's one of the few, in my opinion, who can pull that off. And just that thing when Braun put his hand out and Stone Cold just like stared at it, and you can just see like just like a picture into his mind of just like a whole montage playing in his mind of the best Stone Cold Steve Austin stunners, where like he like looks at it, and Stone Cold of old would have just instantly hit him with the stunner.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There would have been no question. He would have dropped him on that stack of dimes he calls neck in a heartbeat.
Right.
But I like that he just stared at it, and you're like, oh, like a little kid. You're just like, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And he's just like staring a hole in Braun's hand, and like, kind of just like rubs the back of his bald head like he's thinking, and then he's like, and next Seth Rollins, and you're just like, oh, Braun's gonna get it. He's gonna get it. I also, before we get to the rest of this, I applaud WWE for not using Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt here. I think that everybody has expected that because Bray Wyatt has been, or The Fiend, has been interrupting all these Legends promos, or every time there's a legend in the ring, it seems like he pops out. And he was kind of teasing it a little bit on social media by talking about a rattlesnake or whatever. I love Bray Wyatt right now, but Stone Cold is Stone Cold.
There's two.
He can't be treated like a Jerry Lawler. Even Mick Foley. Like I love Mick Foley. Mick Foley's the reason I got into pro wrestling. One of my all-time favorites. Right. But like, he's a little less protected than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin can't just take that mandible claw like that. It would be a big deal, in my opinion, if they did that.
There's only two people who can't take it: The Rock and Stone Cold. That's it. Those two people cannot take it. Triple H can do it for them because he's in the business. He can do it for the business. Hogan can take it. Flair can take it. Edge can take it. Cena even can take it because they're all still kind of, in a way, connected to the business, right? Stone Cold is not above the business, but Stone Cold is like an untouchable icon.
I think with Stone Cold,
and he loses credibility if you do that to him.
Not so much credibility, yes, because
in my opinion,
no. What I was going to say to piggyback off that, Stone Cold is someone, and The Rock too, to a certain degree. Those two are two guys who, I almost used the F word. If you screw with them, they're gonna get you back.
Yeah.
Like, Stone Cold can't just take a mandible claw and then be gone for a few weeks. You can't do that to Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's not who we know Stone Cold Steve Austin to be.
Yeah.
If you appear and you give a mandible claw to Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's gonna be back next week, and he's gonna be out for vengeance.
He will destroy your Firefly Fun House.
He's gonna kick that door into your Firefly Fun House.
He will stunner all those puppets.
Exactly.
And you on top of it, and Sister Abigail as well.
Yeah. So I think that I liked that he didn't get involved in this.
Yeah.
But I do like that he talked about Stone Cold Steve Austin later in the Firefly Fun House, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
I also liked in this segment when Seth Rollins comes out and he's playing into the what chance. I like the way he played into it. How he normally hates them, but on a night like this, he loves them.
I don't understand hating the what chance. It's ridiculous. He tries to stoke the fire between Strowman and Austin, and then he signs the contract. Strowman says he ain't hitting anyone from behind and blah, blah, blah. Then he signs the contract. And just when everyone is feeling hunky-dory and there's handshakes all around, boom, the music of the OC and AJ hits. They come out, and AJ immediately lays into everything that's happening here. He gets mad about the what chance. Here's the thing. I know you're a heel, but you also got to know how to play with the what chance when you're a heel.
I thought he's great with it.
No, the second you go, this is why people don't like to come to New York. That's so lame for a heel to use that. That's like a 5th grade level of an insult.
Yeah,
and
but the people who are what chanting, and no offense, but the people who are what chanting get fired up pretty easily. So when you say something like that to them, they're like, they're mad. I don't know. I actually thought he played into it well because I thought that he did the cadence on purpose to let it happen. Then spoke through it really fast on purpose to show that he's not going to be subject to it, but then still turned it around on them when they kept trying. I actually was thinking the opposite. I was like, man, I thought AJ did a great job powering through it. And I also loved when Stone Cold did the classic, like, I can't, I don't know if you heard, they got 20,000 people here just calling you an asshole. And then AJ just went, shut up, Steve.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know why it made me laugh so much, but I was cackling when he said that.
They called him an old fart, and they called him an asshole. So
But the old fart thing didn't make
you
me
may
laugh
like
as
it.
much.
I didn't like it.
It was more so just, shut up, Steve. Like, I don't know why it made me laugh so much.
Yeah, I was just like, this is weird. It seemed like he was thrown off by it, and that's why I was like, and maybe that was the part he was playing, to be kind of
Yeah, I
like
think that
unsettled and upset about
That's what
it.
I think he was trying to do.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it was like he was being taken off of his game a little bit. I think he was playing into it on purpose.
Okay.
And I also loved, while he's speaking, that you just see Stone Cold slowly setting up for what's to come. Like,
he moves the table.
As they're getting in, he moves the chair out of the way for him. Like, he's not like scared of them coming. He's like inviting them. Okay, well, let's move this chair out of the way.
Right.
Let's get the table while you're talking. Like, I loved it. And then Seth just diving in with the punch, and Braun rolling in and getting them out of the ring. I'm sorry. I love this whole segment because
this segment here was great. This area of the segment was fantastic.
To me, I love this entire segment.
Okay.
From beginning to end, because when they knocked the OC or Gallows and Anderson out of the ring, and AJ's like rolling back in there, and you just saw Steve standing behind him, just waiting, and you sometimes wrestling just brings out the child in me again, and it was one of those times where you see Stone Cold behind him, and this is the second time in this segment where I just was like rubbing my hands together. I'm just like, oh yeah, AJ's about to get it, you know? Like, AJ's gonna get his ass stunned. I love it, and I loved it, and it was great because he didn't do a stunner at the reunion thing,
right?
Whatever it was, Raw reunion, right?
Raw reunion.
So we didn't get it then, so we were waiting for it here,
right?
And you know, like when you could tell when Stone Cold just been like itching to stun someone, because he does the whole he flies down afterwards and does the whole shaking his head in their face thing, and just you can see the veins just popping out of his neck, because when he gets up, he's just doing the most vicious middle fingers, and he's just his whole body tightens up, and you're just so pumped, ready to watch him drink a beer. Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, I can tell he loved it. Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I had a great time with it, and it was nice to see him do stun. He didn't go full stun like AJ cheated a little bit. He did the one knee thing, which bothers me. But maybe he did that to also protect Steve a little bit, so the pressure's not on him physically too much, slamming into the mat. That's certainly possible. But yeah, in the end, great stuff. And you saw Steve waiting for him in the background. A great camera shot there, like you mentioned. So good. All of it a lot of fun. I don't think it's leading to a 6-man tag anytime soon with Stone Cold joining up with Strowman and all that.
Unfortunately, I would love to see Stone Cold wrestle again.
Yeah, it would be a blast. But just when we're catching our breath off of this situation.
Although I will say,
yeah,
and he probably wouldn't agree to it.
Okay.
If Stone Cold can hit 4 stunners,
okay,
3 stunners. Let's say you only need 3 because it's 6-man or 4. Let's do 4-man.
Yeah.
He could have been he technically be in a match, not in a match, but in a 6-man like that. Does that ruin the sanctity of his retirement if he's just on the apron in a 6-man and comes in, hits some stunners, and then Seth pins someone? Is that bad?
You don't bring Stone Cold to be a finisher. He is not 9th inning. You don't call him in the 9th inning. Stone fights through the middle innings. That's what's so great about him. And he finishes it off. That's what he does best. I think it's more a matter of, his wrestling, can he do it anymore? And at his age and the physical injuries.
No, he could just
I don't know if he'd want
to. That's my thing. Yeah. I think that he doesn't want to because he doesn't want to be seen as an old timer who just comes in a match, does one move and leaves. I understand that. I also think that him donning his black trunks and vest means something too. Okay. So if he can't do that for a 6-man where he comes in just for a stunner or 2.
Do you think he'll be the referee for this match? Do you think they'll announce it? A special guest referee? He'd be great.
Maybe. And that's too late now.
Yeah,
they would have done it last night, you would think, or at least this morning.
All right.
I don't think so, but fantastic. Man, anytime Stone Cold's around wrestling, you just I just want to see him wrestle again.
Yeah.
God, it'd be cool. I know I sound like such a Mark fan here when I'm like, can't Stone Cold just come in for one match? I realize it's just the child in me who wants to see his hero in the ring one last time. it's the same thing what he did here. So it was still awesome. I loved everything Stone Cold did last night.
Fair enough. I agree. I did too. He leaves AJ in the ring there, reeling from the stunner. They come back from break, and Cedric Alexander runs down to that ring to start their match. Cedric versus AJ. This is a fun match.
Did you like that setup of things?
Oh yeah, I did
too.
It felt realistic.
Yeah, me too. I liked it.
Hey,
yeah.
we got to move on with the show.
And because of what happened last week, where AJ and the club beat up Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, and Cedric runs down, that gets involved. Good match here, and Cedric gets the pin.
No.
I mean, what?
It was a DQ.
I'm sorry, DQ. Sorry, later on. Sorry. Yeah, the DQ happens here, but it was great.
Honestly,
right?
They gave them a good amount of time. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job here. I thought that AJ did a lot they're clearly trying to give Cedric Alexander a big push here.
Yes.
And I'm super pumped about it because I've been a Cedric Alexander fan for a while now.
Yeah.
And I've been saying that he's worthy of a big push on any of the main roster brands. So I'm pumped about this. But the match itself, it was great. Man, that Michinoku driver he did, where AJ almost folded his whole body in mid pump, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And just the whole match, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought they blended really well together. And I was bummed with the way it ended with the DQ, with the club attacking Cedric Alexander.
Right. But you knew that was coming.
Which I did expect it to come.
Yeah.
I was bummed, but it was one of those circumstances where let's wait till the show is over.
Right.
And by the end of the show, it was all for naught.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was a great match.
Yeah, I thought so too. And you're right. They're pushing Cedric more and more. He's certainly more present on social media, and people are responding. He's retweeting people and all this kind of stuff. So this is happening step by step, and it's great to see. And unfortunately, he's not in the King of the Ring tournament anymore. But we'll get to that in just a second. So we'll see where they're going to line him up. Is he going to take on AJ next for that title?
That's
AJ's?
my guess.
Yeah,
especially what happens at the end of the show. That's my guess, that we get Cedric versus AJ Clash of Champions. But I think actually the Cedric Alexander, Chad Gable, Baron Corbin to a certain degree are their runs in this King of the Ring, or their matches in the King of the Ring, whatever, not run, but they're different separate matches in the King of the Ring. Chad Gable too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said him already.
You did twice already.
Sorry, I love Chad Gable. No, I didn't say him twice, did I?
It's your second time.
Oh, that's the second time. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, those guys, I think that they're proof that just letting wrestlers have dope matches on Raw and SmackDown will get them over with fans to a certain degree, and make them more respected to the fans. Because a guy like Baron Corbin, and we'll get to his match later, but a guy like Baron Corbin, they go, oh, he can't wrestle. No, it's just he's been in 4-minute matches, and it's really, really hard to tell a good story in the ring in 4 minutes.
Yeah, but other people can do it in 4 minutes, no problem.
That.
So I don't think the criticism is unwarranted.
It's hard for them too, is all I'm saying. It's hard for everybody, anybody, to tell a good story in the ring in 4 minutes.
Exactly, but that's what makes the great ones stand out.
No, the 4-minute matches aren't what make the great ones stand out.
I'm saying no matter what situation you're thrown in, you can make it work. That's what makes the great ones stand out. Stone Cold give you a 4-minute match, you come all over yourself, and you know it.
Well, yeah, but you're talking about Stone Cold. It's a very specific.
Stone Cold at the beginning could have given you a 4 minutes.
One of the greatest of all time.
That's what I'm getting at. The great ones can do that within the 4 minutes. I bet Becky could give you a great 4-minute match. I mean, the great ones can do it, and that's the point. I mean,
I don't know what point you're trying to make here.
I hear your criticism that people were bashing Corbin. No, we were legitimately bashing Corbin because he was boring, whether it was a 4 or 20-minute match. He's only gotten better as he's understood his character more and more, and that's where we start to come across. That's why he's over now, because people like what he's doing more and more, and he's gotten better at it. That's my point.
So, before you interrupted my point that I was trying to make, by kind of saying the same thing in a little bit angrier of a manner, is what I was saying is it's cool that these the wrestlers getting these longer matches to a certain degree are letting them showcase their skills a little more, is all I'm saying. And I think that it helped that you see that that, as great as characters are in story building, that the matches too are also important, and that I like that the King of the Ring has been a vehicle for athletic matches. They're not, they weren't rushing all of the matches, and most of the matches for the most part. And so I like that we're seeing more athletic matches, and people are getting over because of it. And Cedric Alexander is a great example of that.
Yeah, certainly. And I don't disagree with you. They're being showcased.
Yeah, that's all I meant.
So where we go from here, though,
is Baron Corbin can't show his skill as much in a 4-minute match. It's more difficult for someone maybe of his level of skill or whatever, but You put him in there with a guy like guys like Ricochet and Samoa Joe for 15 minutes, and look what happened.
Yeah.
You know, they put on a great match.
Absolutely. And so they'll get over with the fans. Now we'll see, though, how over they really are in terms of fan reaction, in terms of merchandise sales, in terms of, I don't know, social media conversations about them. All that stuff factors into this stuff. So you're seeing Cedric, seeing Buddy Murphy. Certainly Ricochet's been over for since he showed up, and we'll see what happens with Corbin. But those guys, they're getting the opportunities.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens from here.
Yes.
You hope they do. Just because they can wrestle great doesn't mean they get over. There's a lot of great wrestlers who don't. Gran Metalik, who we'll talk about in a little bit. Never given a bad match that I've ever seen, yet here he is struggling to get over with the fans. Same thing. Was he in the King of the Ring?
He was not.
Right. And that's what I'm getting at.
Well, they gave him an opportunity, though, and I'm worried that it wasn't what they wanted from him.
Yep.
We'll get to that, though.
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on to the four. There were the four women tag matches teased here, but then Roman Reigns comes out with the Connor's Cure stuff, which I thought was really sweet.
Very nice.
You know, and all the different people, and they get to be announced, those little kids. And,
now let's critique it angrily. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I don't like that they used those kids can't wrestle. Why do they get names? No, it was great. It was
no, great. I loved it. It was. I mean, look, it's not like I was like it's a very nice thing they do.
Yeah.
What's
your feeling about it? Because there was some drama. There was some controversy about it a couple of years ago with the former commentator. Remember, he said that he's the one that kind of pushed Stephanie.
Justin Roberts.
Yeah, Justin Roberts. He pushed it. Do you think, did that finally get resolved? We just kind of moved on, and they're doing nice things with it. So that's what's important.
I never looked at it in a bad way, so I don't know. It's hard to say.
Cool. Just want to get your take on that. All right. So let's get to it. The four women tag match happens here.
Did it surprise you this was early on in the show like this?
Yeah, it did a little bit, especially on the heels of that opening explosive back and forth with everyone and Stone Cold. I was shocked it was here, but maybe they did it because, you got to let the show breathe a little bit and then come back to that 10-man tag at the end.
I just felt like
But it was a long match.
I just felt like they could have had that 10-man tag be the start of the show. Like,
what do you do with Stone Cold then?
No, like they do the contract signing with Stone Cold.
Oh, and then all these people run out?
Dust up happens.
Oh, okay.
Then they have the 10-man tag. And they should have closed with the 4 Horsewomen at MSG, in a tag match. And then when Becky and Charlotte win, Stone Cold comes out. We've been saying Stone Cold is like Becky Lynch this whole time.
Yeah.
You're trying to get Becky Lynch back there.
It's a good suggestion.
I think it would have done way more wonders to have Stone Cold come out there and christen the daughter of his all-time favorite wrestler and the female Stone Cold that everyone's talking about, and cheers them, and the three of them sit there in the ring pouring beers down on their faces. Would have been so much better than, no offense, I love Cedric Alexander. You heard me gush over it. I also love the Viking Raiders, but
we're now faces. Yeah.
Who are now faces, exactly. Like, it was so out of left field, those guys being involved. They're moving up.
Yeah.
But the Viking Raiders have been beating up jobbers for the past few months, and then they weren't even on TV. And before that, their debut was a joke because of their name.
Yeah.
So I was like, shouldn't that have been Becky Lynch? We just saw her. She was just on Stone Cold's show, giving him a stunner.
Yeah.
They could have shown that, and then him give, you know what? And then even played off of it, like, whoa, don't do it again.
Yeah.
It would have been great.
Yeah.
You already did wonders for AJ Styles by having an interaction with Stone Cold, and Braun Strowman and Seth already had at the beginning. I just felt like it would have made so much more sense here with the way the man gimmick has been going.
I don't disagree with you.
To close the show with Stone Cold and the two top pillars of the women's division.
Do not be surprised. Do not be surprised that there is some... How can I say this correctly? Do not be surprised that there's some jealousy in the back. There's always jealousy about who's going to be right, and maybe Rollins and maybe Strowman are like, or even Vince at his age, maybe they're just like, well, we can't end it with the women. Hey, I have the belts. Maybe there's a little bit, we should get the shine from Stone Cold type thing. They're certainly possible.
I mean, you do have him in there with the Universal Champion and the Tag Team Champion, so I get that.
Right, but you also have Bayley and you also have Becky there with their championship. So, I mean, there's all kinds of things you could have made to make it work what you're suggesting, and it would have worked great. Even the hesitation of Stone Cold to get that stunner from Becky, even that would have worked
done
just
wonders
fine.
For Becky Lynch.
Absolutely, but I think that's what it is. I think the men are worried. Becky is the top star. I don't give a fuck what Rollins does. Sorry, Scott.
Sorry, Dad.
Becky is the top star. Top star. No one else comes close to Becky. No one. I don't care who you throw up. No one. Not The Fiend. Not freaking Strowman.
Brock Lesnar?
Lesnar. Maybe. I guess
Rousey?
Lesnar. No, not Rousey. Lesnar.
Rousey's not more famous than Becky Lynch?
Rousey.
Well, what?
No one hates Becky.
Who's more famous, though, I thought you said.
No, not famous. I mean for for wrestling.
Okay.
Now, of course, Ronda's more famous than Becky. Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know.
She is.
I'd like to know who does the quotients for that. I'd like to find out. It's not like MMA is like this mainstream thing.
pretty
UFC.
mainstream.
Yeah, do you want to see the numbers on UFC from this weekend? It really doesn't that great.
Well, there wasn't someone like Ronda Rousey on the card either. Who was on the card this weekend?
Khabib is not someone like Ronda
Okay, he's
Rousey.
big deal.
Come
Okay,
on, man.
That's a bit, I didn't realize he fought this weekend.
Poirier as well. They fought each
I don't know
other.
who that
But I'm
is.
just saying to me that that's
Khabib's only famous because of Conor McGregor.
oh my God.
Oh no, I'm gonna get.
You're going out of
I'm
control.
gonna get flamed
Yes,
for that one.
probably by Khabib's people. Be careful.
I know.
Connor is someone you could argue could be as famous as Becky, and ironically,
Wait,
they're both
he's
Irish.
way more famous than Becky Lynch.
He's probably famous.
Conor McGregor?
More famous than Becky, yes. I would say so.
Okay,
yes.
I was gonna say, come on, Rocha.
But I'm saying that was
Chad Gable. This.
That's a rival. You mean mess it up? What I'm saying is this situation. What I'm just saying is that I agree with you, and I think it would have worked better because Becky is so goddamn over.
Yeah.
And it would have been great to have them sharing a beer.
She's gonna be on the cover of
And
the video game.
Yeah, and even if she did do the stunt, that's the thing. He could take a stunner from her and lose no credibility
I agree.
because she's at that level. The Fiend
And
is
he
not
can't
at
hit her.
that level.
He can't hit her. So.
Right, he can't hit her, exactly. And Charlotte could even look at that and go, and walk away from it.
I feel like you don't actually have the stunner. I mean, yes, it would have been huge, but like, just even the tease, if she had been like a little kick tease, you know, like, and he, I would have been huge. Like,
Agreed.
So, but
Agreed.
I don't want to harp on that too much because the match was fantastic.
The match was fantastic.
They gave them like 20 minutes.
Yes, top to bottom, great stuff. I mean, so they took such hard bumps in the ring, outside the ring.
That belly to Bayley or Bayley to belly to the guardrail.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Well, the suplex on Charlotte from behind as well. Good God Almighty out there. And Sasha was taking super bumps. All of them were taking fantastic bumps.
No, they came to play.
Yes, and then you're like, damn. And this is what, and you look, damn, you go, now that's wrestling. That's premier wrestling. And that's why those four are here. And in my opinion, the rest of the women are still down here trying to get to here. And that's how it is.
Asuka's up there with them.
Well, sure. When she gets the chance to
When she gets
showcase
the
that,
opportunity,
which she rarely does nowadays, unfortunately. But yeah, and so I think that's fantastic. And it tells you this is what you want to see. This is the taste of what you want to see.
That's honestly why I felt like it should have main evented.
Yeah.
And I feel like the women went out there to prove that.
Yeah.
Like, you know that they were like, wait, we're not main eventing
Good
here?
points.
Like, you're getting the 4 Horsewomen
And the
finally in a tag match. The 2 besties versus the Boston Hug Connection. You're not going to main event with that? Like, you're going to main event with
friends.
the Viking Raiders, who you barely even have used that much.
Right,
you know?
that's what I'm getting at. It feels a bit, I'm not going to say like, what's against women or anything like that. I'm just saying it's a bit archaic in the approach.
I mean,
the ladies are leading the way now. Ride the train.
I agree. They should. I mean, they're definitely some of the most popular people in the company.
Yeah.
No, unquestionably. And they showed it. I mean, that match was so good. I also don't think there's a problem with Bayley losing already. I saw a lot of talk about that.
Oh, to Charlotte?
Well, people were going, you turn Bayley heel, and now she's already losing. And I thought to myself, well, no, to me.
Oh, because she took the pin.
Because she took the pin.
She always takes the pin, though, man.
But also to me, I feel like they're setting up the building blocks for Bayley's actual heel turn. Like, yes, she has started the heel turn. I think that the chair attacks were the start of the heel turn. And much like I said last week, and I'm not sure if this was on the recap that did air or didn't, but you know, I get this vibe of like Sasha being like the Palpatine to Bayley's Anakin Skywalker, where she's trying to bring out the evil in Bayley. Like, she's like you gotta feel it, you know, like you gotta bring it out. And I feel like to get there, because I feel like her next promo wasn't the heel promo everyone expected. No. She came out and, you know, it was like, what? I'm trying to teach people about friendship and blah, blah.
Well, this is,
And so I think the building blocks are being in place. I think that first she did that, and then it didn't work. and she had to resort to the chair again by the end of that thing when she was attacking Charlotte. Then she's still trying to be the old Boston Hug connection. She has a hard-hitting match or whatever.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, she can't get the job done, right? Against Charlotte, the one that she really wants to, that she hates, that she really feels like is just undeserving of everything she gets, right? And then I feel like she loses the title. I feel like she's going to lose the title at Clash of Champions. I feel like we're getting, because isn't it Bayley versus Charlotte at Clash of Champions?
Yeah.
And Sasha versus Becky? Mm-hmm. I think they're both losing the titles to help with the draft somehow. I think that Charlotte beats Bayley and down on her everything. Mm-hmm. Bayley then helps Sasha beat Becky.
Okay.
And turns full-blown heel. And all the losses finally get to her, and she becomes this dark Bayley that we kind of all want to see. And I think that these losses only help build to that, where she finally realizes, like, I have to be like Charlotte. In order to beat Charlotte, I have to become Charlotte.
To be the man, you got to beat the woman. To beat the woman, you got to beat the woman. Yeah. Well, but this is also true, and this is my thoughts on this. Charlotte and Sasha are two naturally gifted over wrestlers from the beginning. Bayley and Becky have always had to work harder to get over with the fans, right? They were the third and fourth Beatles, so to speak. Yeah. And that's Sasha and Charlotte are essentially John and Paul. And so they have to work hard. But because they have to work harder, when they turn heel, full heel, the fans go along with them because they understand the underdog aspect of wanting to stand out. I think Bayley has a chance to eclipse Sasha like Becky has eclipsed Charlotte. I think so because they are from the ground up, and there's something strong about that. Both of them wanting to do it since they're, and of course, Charlotte did. Charlotte got into it eventually later. Sasha certainly at a younger age as well was into it with Eddie and all the influence there. But I think with Bayley and with Becky, there's this kind of groundswell of like underdogness that will be a foundation for their heel turn that fans will go along with. And if Bayley starts coming out in black stuff and starts cutting some awesome heel promos, say goodnight. She will eclipse Sasha.
Last night I noticed she was wearing the jacket she was wearing was like an NWO Hogan, like a Hollywood Hogan like font that said Bayley, and it was black and white, her jacket, and I was like, But I also didn't know she's worn that a lot. It didn't ring. I wasn't positive, but I did notice that it was like black and white Hogan-esque, and I was like, that's interesting. But yeah, I agree with a lot of that. Although I don't know if I agree that Becky has eclipsed Charlotte. Charlotte is on the top of her game too. Charlotte is killing it lately. You can't say Charlotte's not killing it lately.
I'm not saying Charlotte's not killing it. I'm saying the Chiefs are a good team. The Patriots are better. Becky Lynch is better.
Why do you always have these sports analogies that throw me off? You think a movie
what
analogy.
Else do you know?
You're a movie guy. I know movies.
All right, movies. Fine.
Well, it's like a sequel that's better. I don't know.
Lethal Weapon is great. Lethal Weapon 2 is almost as great.
Okay.
Yeah? Lethal Weapon 2 is Charlotte. Lethal Weapon is Becky.
No.
You're insane. You're insane. You don't know what you're talking about. But I appreciate you being on the show. OC. All right, we have OC in the back with a pro. Okay, anyway, Bayley takes the pin. This thing ends. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
But please, we've got to do something about. Okay, if you're going to complain to me,
knock your drink over.
You're going to complain to me about the what chants. I need to complain about the this is awesome chants. I'm tired of those chants. Fans, come up with something new. Come up with something else. This is awesome as a default thing to say. It's boring. It's lost its weight. There has to be something else you come up with organically. I finally watched the NXT TakeOver in Cardiff. That was fantastic. Those chants for Tyler Bay were incredible. Those are European chants because they're very similar to soccer chants. We as Americans we landed on the moon. We should be able to come up with better chants than frickin' this is awesome for 3 decades now. They've been doing it since ECW in the early 90s. Let's come up with something else. I need something else. It's boring.
This guy is saying rants about the nice, positive, this is awesome chant that fans say when they love something. And earlier praises the what chant for 10 minutes.
Wait, the what chants are connected to a wrestler. Just like, I won't bitch about this. I'll never bitch about this.
But when you're doing the what chant during something non-Austin related,
you're showing your approval or disapproval. This
is awesome. It's such a nicer chant.
It's nice. I know.
More this is awesome chants, less what chants.
No, but I think people are just defaulting to it whenever the hell they feel like it. And I think they're misusing This Is Awesome.
I do think that
although it was valid for this match, I think people are misusing it.
Fair. I do think that people are overdoing the This Is Awesome
Yes.
chant. There are times when people chant This Is Awesome before the match has even started.
5 minutes in.
No, before it's even started.
Oh, that's even worse.
So fair, but also you can't say that you love the what chant, but then shit on the This Is Awesome chant.
I can do
I can do it. I just
what
did
I
it.
like. Because this is
Don't
America.
tell me what I can't do.
This is America. Make America awesome again. No, I'm just saying, like, change the chances. Come up with. We got to be able to come up with something. This is stupendous, fantastic, marvelous. There are many, many synonyms you can use.
This
for
is
awesome.
marvelous. Not as it sounds good.
Just say marvelous.
This is fantastic. No, it doesn't work either.
Well, how about just chanting glorious?
Fantastic. That's a good one.
See? Look at that. It's not that difficult. All right, let's move on. OC in the back with their promo.
Exceptional match. Exceptional match. Is that a good one?
Yes, that works. OC's in the back with a promo there talking about, that they've recovered from the stunner and all that kind of stuff. Exactly. And I can roll with it. And then Dolph and Robert Roode come out and talk to them.
Yeah, I was watching this thinking, Rocha's loving this part.
Although it was a big...
every time Rocha says that there's gonna be like a new
faction,
and I say no, and then they inch towards it on TV, I can see Rocha like going at his TV like, yep, see, we're on the same page here.
Factions are in, dog. Get on it. I can't wait to see Dolph and Roode with an OC shirt on. That's gonna be the crew. Also because
That's gonna be the crew.
Dolph radiates the OC. He's a surfer-looking dude, man. He radiates the OC.
I don't think it's supposed to be an OC vibe.
Know, I'm just saying.
Radiates surfer. He radiates surfer. He listens to Phantom Planet. He kind of looks like Sean. What's his face?
He does improv in LA. It's great. It's great. He's perfect. Anyway, I guess it was a bit of a weird interaction, but AJ ends up with saying, "I kind of like those guys." Really.
Yeah, and shook his hand too.
Yeah, AJ's not always the best on the promo, on the improv bits, but it does all right. All right, it's on Rey Mysterio. He takes on Gran Metalik here. I thought this was a good match.
It just wasn't great.
Right, it wasn't.
That's what frustrated, and not like I should be frustrated that it wasn't great, but it was. I guess I was a little bummed because they've had those just fire Andrade versus Rey Mysterio matches, and I was looking at this like, oh, cool. They're gonna it's gonna be something similar. I don't know if it's just that Gran Metalik has been locked away, so to speak, that like he hasn't been given the opportunities to.
Just not solo.
No, he hasn't been given the opportunities to shine like Andrade has. So maybe working a singles match that's gonna blow everyone away. Maybe he's just needs to flex that muscle a little more again first, because there were shades of it, but there was just something, I don't know what it was. It never got out of the gear that I thought. Like the Andrade matches have kind of like built on top of each other, escalated into like a dope finish. I never felt like this one was able to kind of like keep building. It kind of stayed in the same position, it felt like.
Do you think he nerves?
I don't know.
I mean, because he paid deference to Ray at the end, and maybe there was a little bit of nerves for him getting to fight Ray at the WWE. I mean, it's the first time they fought one-on-one on a show.
I mean, it's possible.
At MSG.
It's possible.
Yeah.
All those things are very possible. To me, though, I would just have to guess that it's lack of just flexing that muscle.
Okay.
You know, is that he's been not doing solo singles matches that have to keep building on each other for so long now. I mean, it's been like this Lucha House Party thing for a while. He's been relegated to tag matches for a minute now. I mean, it's been a minute since the Cruiserweight Classic.
I don't disagree with you, man.
And I just feel like that if he's only in tag matches for so long or three-way matches, he doesn't have to. He can rely on the other guys, and they all build off of each other to get there. But maybe it's just he needs to keep flexing that muscle again. Because I don't know what it was. It was cool match. There was cool spots in it. Just I don't know. It wasn't that heater Andrade style match that we've seen from Ray in the past few weeks or months.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree. I thought there were some good spots.
There were.
But the overall pace of the match or the look of the match or the feel of the match wasn't what you were hoping to see.
It didn't live up to expectations.
Yeah, that's a fair point. All right, let's move on to that triple threat match. Samoa Joe versus Ricochet versus Corbin. Baron Corbin. God damn it, Corbin won this thing in the end. But, I mean, it was a good match, although Samoa Joe was out of it for long periods of time, maybe on purpose to kind of like, give him a little bit of a breather, let Ricochet showcase himself and let Corbin showcase himself too, because Samoa's over. He doesn't need to be a major part of this match. But in the end, Corbin gets it done after Ricochet. This is like old school Nintendo 64, WWE or WCW when you would play it, and your friend, you'd play in the triple threat matches, your friend would hit the 2 finishing moves, then you'd roll into the ring, hit your finishing move on your friend, and pin the dude. That's what it felt like to me. I used to win matches like that all the time.
You're one of those guys?
Oh, yeah, drove my friends crazy.
I have a friend named Spin. And
I just walk around the ring.
He beat me. I'm a firm believer in the video games that you should not win unless you hit your finisher. So,
rules. Okay.
And James, who works inside with sometimes James McKenna, when we play online, he does not abide to that law. I abide to that law pretty strictly. Maybe I'm a babyface. I don't know. But I feel like you got to hit your finisher to win the match. I even have done it where I know I roll someone up knowing I could technically win just to mess with them because I'm like, I'm not a bitch. I'm going to hit my finisher to win the match first. But I have a friend named Spin, one of my good friends, who we were playing one of the 2K games years ago now. And it was a Hell in a Cell match where we were both climbing up, hitting our finisher through the cell, but then we'd pin, someone would kick out. We were playing for maybe an hour, Hell in a Cell match. And he, after a million finishers, everything, he then, we're bloody, everything, he then rolls me up for a pin, and I couldn't kick out because the thing was so small. No finisher, no nothing. And we have not played since, and he still holds it over my head. He then moved to a different country.
So
I couldn't get my rematch. And now he's back from Japan. I believe that's where he was, Japan.
All right.
He's back from Japan.
Now you want the rematch.
And he has recently let me know that he is back in town and wants the match. And I'm like, we'll do this. We'll do this. And I'm going to play real dirty. I'm going to roll him up so quickly he's not going to know what hit him.
Wow.
Schoolboy City, baby.
So the
You're
rules,
going down, Spin.
So the rules won't apply. You won't do the finisher.
The gloves are off.
Yeah.
You know what really sucks?
Okay. What's that?
Is my brother and I were hanging out the night before he passed away, which is obviously a sad situation. I know.
Yeah.
Not the thing that's him dying sucks, obviously.
Of course.
But we were playing 2K the night before. We always played against each other since we were little kids in the video games. And we had 2 characters. I'm Ricky Suave, and he had his own character, which he ripped off his gimmick from Christopher Daniels when we were children because he read it in a magazine and thought it sounded cool and it wasn't on TV.
Right.
So he called his character the Fallen Angel.
Yeah, Fallen Angel.
Total ripoff. But Ricky Suave versus the Fallen Angel.
Ricky Suave, not a ripoff.
Rico Suave is the song, not Ricky Suave.
I know
it's a play off
but it's
of
still
that.
a ripoff.
But mine is a play off of that. Like,
you're saying it's blatant. Your brother's was blatant.
He just blatantly stole Fallen Angel. Mine is at least part of the gimmick. Like, Rico Suave. Everyone knows the name Rico Suave, the song Rico Suave. So it's like, Ricky Ladies Man Suave. You get the gimmick instantly.
He's the Ladies Man
Ricky
Suave.
Ladies Man Suave. He's a known man in my universe, WWE universe. But Ricky Ladies Man Suave went up against Fallen Angel. The night before my brother passed away. We were playing video games. That jerk beat me. Then he went home that night, and then he had the nerve to die the next day, and I will never be able to get a rematch. And so Fallen Angel goes down in the history books as the last winner over Ricky Suave. And to be honest with you, it's ruined Ricky Suave's career. I don't even like to use him as much anymore because it's like his number one. He lost when he needed to get the job done.
He's damaged goods.
You know, my brother couldn't do the job on the way out. He couldn't do the job on the way out. You're supposed to put someone over on the way out. You couldn't put Ricky Suave over on the way out. Yes, that's why I'm the tattoo. Fallen Angel still, because it's like it's a gimmick infringement. I know, but
CM Punk'd you. That's great. I love
it. He's a total Hulk Hogan.
He took the
Can't
belt,
even
went
put
home.
me over on the way out. But yes,
you see what the problem is? Yeah.
To get back to where that all came from.
Yes.
I kind of like the dick move that Corbin pulled there.
He's a heel. He's
a heel. It made it better. And you go like, no, you shake your fist a little more at Corbin. And honestly, Corbin killed it in this match.
It was a good match. He was good.
There was that one sequence where Ricochet comes at him, kind of flips up like he's in a Hurricane Rana, but then he powerbombed Ricochet down, lifted him up off the ground, then did that deep six where he spun like 100 times first. It looked awesome.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin, like you said earlier, has definitely progressed. He should not be getting. He shouldn't have that same stigma he once had when he was the constable. And I praised him sometimes then, but his match last night was great. Like the work he did in the ring was awesome. And in my opinion, the right person went over here.
Yeah.
I think that Samoa Joe, while
he doesn't need it.
He doesn't need it. I also don't think Corbin's gonna win. I don't think he's gonna. I think Chad Gable's gonna win. I know we said this. I think Chad Gable's gonna win. I do. I think it's going to be Gable versus Corbin in the finals.
That's so boring. All right, anyway.
Elias is so much better.
No, I'm saying Gable winning would be boring. I don't think it has the same. King Corbin has it more. And then you start a program with Gable, Corbin versus Gable, kind of, because maybe Corbin cheats to win or does something dirty to win.
I just don't want to see the typical heel with a crown, cape, that whole thing. It's just so tired. It's so tired.
Name me the last face that won and was like memorable as King of the Ring.
Wade Barrett.
Memorable, I said.
Wade Barrett.
I had heard Wade Barrett in 3 years.
Well, because he hasn't been there in 3 years.
It's not memorable, but everybody talks
about
him? King Booker or King Harley Race or even King Macho Man.
Those are the ones that stuck out to you because when they resonated with you when you were younger.
Those were all heels.
So was Stu Barrett. So was Wade Barrett.
Nobody remembers Wade Barrett winning.
People loved Bad News Barrett, and then he had the whole.
You're insane.
So off base.
People hated Bad News Barrett,
and before that it was William Regal, I believe, and then there was Sheamus.
Yeah.
Sheamus did it too.
Sheamus, yeah. Nobody remembers.
And I just don't want to see the same tired thing that we've seen so many times. I think
that's fair.
A face just being like. Using it as like a vehicle, a launch pad, is so much more, will be so much more rewarding down the line than Baron Corbin in a month and a half wearing a crown, being like, I'm King Corbin, and telling people what to do like he's a king. I just think it'll be very cliche and what we've seen with like 90% of the King of the Ring winners.
Well, I hate to break it to you.
I know. You sound like the rest of Twitter in my replies when I say that I want Chad Gable to win.
Some things are inevitable. All right, Natty versus Lacey's up here. This was a reverse of last week where Natty gets the win. It still was a decent match. Those ladies have good chemistry with each other, but for some reason, Natty gets the win. So
she was the heel for some reason.
She was the heel.
It was really confusing.
I was so confused, and I was like, what is that? What are you doing here? And then also,
but they also
let me finish. You undercut Lacey a little bit by having her take the loss, in my opinion. But go ahead.
100% 50-50 booking there.
Yeah,
definitely. As confusing as it was, and as much as you go like, wait, what? What are they trying to accomplish with this?
Yeah,
I will say props to Lacey and Natty, because as much as the crowd was confused, as much as they were ready to crap on it. As much as they started chanting CM Punk during the match,
they really did.
They were turned around by the end of it.
Yes,
I won't say they had the crowd in the palm of their hands or anything like that, but they got that crowd to shut up with the CM Punk chants and to be invested in the match. So props to them for that, considering they were dealing with a lot of confusing circumstances and were doing the crowd that was very ready to shit on them.
Yeah. It was a Rocky IV situation. They turned it around by the end.
Yeah.
All right. That's the movie reference you get.
Got it.
About sports.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Okay.
That I got. Cool.
That you got. All right, good. Anyway, so I don't know where this is leading to.
Hey, you know what, though?
What's that?
I know we're getting low on time.
We are.
I did enjoy all this Antonio Brown stuff.
You enjoyed all this Antonio Brown stuff?
Isn't that his name?
Antonio Brown, right.
I enjoyed all that drama.
I thought you said Santonio Brown.
No, Antonio Brown.
Yeah, you enjoyed this? This is wrestling.
That's why I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, and everyone, even Josh said that yesterday on our live episode of Collider Sports Time. He said, Mark Ellis said that. He said, this is no longer the NFL. Like, the commissioner is Vince McMahon. That's
exactly what I felt.
Exactly. And a lot of people were saying Antonio's going to end up in the XFL down the road.
I thought it was going to happen when he first asked for his release from the NFL.
Yeah. This was terrible. This was heel stuff.
I loved it. I watched that video he put out, and I was like, oh my God.
That video was horrible.
What?
The video where he's running around the yard screaming that he's free?
No, that one's also awesome.
That was
I'm talking about
awful.
I'm talking about the one that he put out where he recorded his coach.
Oh, with John Gruden. By the way, which is illegal in California.
Too, I know.
But again, John probably gave him permission.
I'm sure Gruden's not going to take legal action against him.
No, but I'm sure Gruden gave him permission, thinking he was gonna use it to kind
stay on the team.
to stay on the team. And then have him use it in reverse. Oh my God. Nobody looked more with egg on their face like John Gruden did after that situation. But they got the job done last night, won the game against the Broncos.
Oh, did they?
So the Raiders, congratulations, they moved past it.
It reminded me though of like when Brock Lesnar shows up on Raw and he'll like beat up Michael Cole, and then there's like some arbitrary fine number that comes out the next day where it was like, it's like Antonio Brown is fined $253,478 because of what he's done to the team. And I was like, wait, what? This is how little I watch sports. I don't know if you saw my tweet, but when I read an article, I was like, why is everyone talking about the Antonio Brown guy? And I'm like, reading an article and it mentions how one of his recent drama things that he had been involved in was he was trying to convince the team to let him wear an old school style helmet.
Yeah, that no one else is allowed to wear.
So I read that, and my mind sees old school helmet that nobody else is allowed to wear and thinks that Antonio Brown wants to wear a leather helmet, like the old school leather helmet in the NFL. So I'm like, man, this guy, he's got frozen feet from cryotherapy, and he wants to wear a leather helmet. This guy's a pro wrestler. I love this guy. Like, new stand. And then I was like, well, I gotta find, where's this leather helmet that he wants to wear? Like, what kind? And I'm Googling, and also I'm like, wait, the helmet's from 2010?
Yeah.
That's way less cool, Antonio Brown. Wear a leather helmet, then come back to me.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Those videos those are heel videos.
I loved them. There's such heel things. I was like, God. Antonio Brown gets it.
Calling his grandmother to celebrate his release from a team that traded 2 picks to get him because his stupid ass couldn't wear slippers into a cryogenic chamber I was like, you're a dick. And I was never on Josh's side on this about Antonio. I'm like, some teams, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but Antonio's a great player, blah, blah, blah. But then this whole scenario absolutely soured me on him. And the fake apology, the heartfelt fake apology, that's heel move too. Knowing he's going to leave the next day so that he can be back on the team. And the second the team goes, we're not going to pay you the $30 million guaranteed. Get me out of here. Screw you. Oh, it was ridiculous.
I laughed at it because I also, I don't watch football. I don't watch sports. And so I just read, as you see, I just saw that guy's a heel. That guy's a great pro wrestler.
Oh, he's a heel.
That guy would be a great pro wrestler.
Oh, absolutely.
And I tweeted saying something like that, and so many football fans were just like, no, don't want that asshole anywhere near wrestling. Like, don't join wrestling. And I'm like, see? He's already got heat. Bring him over. Bring him over.
I tweeted because there's a picture of the Patriots in the NWO shirts in black and white, like they've taken a picture, and it's all of Belichick, Kraft, all of them, Brady. And I said, I tweeted, someone needs to add Antonio Brown to this picture as the Dennis Rodman of the NWO. And somebody sent me back a Photoshop thing of him in the NWO. That was perfect. He is the Rodman of the Patriots now. Anyway, all right, let's move on. We got to run out of time here. The 24/7 stuff happened with Enes Kanter and our truth. It didn't mean anything. Let's get to the Firefly Fun House. You really enjoyed. Now I'm on your side. I don't like them promoting it after the break. But later on.
But they at least try. I was actually going to say they at least tried to change it a little bit by not having Michael Cole do it. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah, who was it?
It was Bray Wyatt who did it.
Oh, it was Bray.
Instead of having Michael Cole come on and go like, there's gonna be an episode of Firefly Fun House. They had like a cut-in where it was like, hey, Fireflies or whatever. Like, there's gonna be a new episode of Firefly Fun House. Like, make sure you stick around. I actually thought that was smart.
Okay.
Because it keeps within the universe of that whole Firefly Fun House thing. It doesn't kind of like make it feel a little like nerdy-ish by having Michael Cole do it.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. So tell me what you thought of this and tell me what you think it means.
Loved it. I once again love that they're playing into the more is going on here stuff where like when he pulled the hammer, like, no, not again,
what does fixing the clock mean?
So before we get to the fixing the clock thing, he also keeps mentioning that the people in WWE took something from him, and that's what invoked the Fiend. I'm really intrigued by that fact first, because I really want to know what the Fiend, quote unquote, thinks, or whatever, whatever invoked the Fiend.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's taking away his family. I don't know if it's burning down the house. but something took something from him.
Okay.
And I'm really intrigued by that. I want to know what he's talking about. The 11-19 thing, I love it. I thought that Bray Wyatt is so good at, like, his character's been really good at, like, you know, starting new little mysteries. And this was a great way of, like, planting a seed of something. You know, he's talking about, you know, the legends. He mentions, finally kind of get explanation of why he's been attacking the legends, because every time they're in the same area, it messes with his head. And that's why he wanted to attack Stone Cold, right? Isn't that what he said, right? But then, you know, he couldn't attack Stone Cold, so he bangs the thing, and we get the 11-19. I genuinely don't know.
Oh, you don't know what 11-19 is?
What do you think it is?
I think it's Revelations.
The Ezekiel 11-19 thing?
No, because like Stone Cold said not Ezekiel, Revelations 11-19.
What's that?
It says, and the temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen in this temple the ark of his testament, and there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and an earthquake and a great haul of destruction.
Go to Ezekiel 11-19.
Okay.
I saw that when someone tweeted that to me.
Ooh, I like.
And I know nothing about scriptures, but I saw this one, and this one did also sound interesting to me.
And I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within you, and I will take the stony heart out of their flesh, and will give them a heart of flesh. Ooh, interesting.
Both of those sound interesting.
Yeah.
I do think it's a scripture thing.
Yeah. Because he mentioned Stone Cold, and Stone Cold's big saying was 3:16.
Yes.
Right.
And it went
John
from 3:16 to 11-19,
11-19, right.
Because the clock, you're right. He was talking about the biblical factors. The 3:16 was a biblical thing.
Yeah.
He hits it, it becomes 11-19.
Right.
I agree with you. I think that it's a biblical thing. I
It's
saw a lot of people point out that 11-19 was, I guess, the date The Undertaker debuted.
Okay.
But I feel like that's such a stretch. Granted, it's him removing the thought of one legend in his mind to another legend in his mind. But I just feel like the 3:16 is so synonymous with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't think 11-19 is very synonymous with Undertaker. I think you really have to dig deep to find that.
I agree. It's not something that you talk about.
Yeah, it's not like, 11-19, obviously that's when Undertaker debuted. You know, like, I don't think it's one of those things. And granted, the same thing, when you see 11-19, it might not immediately ring scriptures to you, but I think it's a scripture thing. I think that they're trying to, this was clearly a seed planter for something that is a down the line thing. And you know what? Based on Bray Wyatt saying that The Fiend was going to be the coolest thing in wrestling when it debuted, way before anyone had any idea outside of WWE that this was even a thing he was working on.
Yeah.
And it is rang true and has become the coolest thing in wrestling, in my opinion, right now.
Right.
I have faith that whatever he's setting up here is going to be cool.
Absolutely. No doubt. And so we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
But it certainly got the internet talking.
Yes.
At least wrestling internet talking.
Yeah, everyone's on the 11-19 thing.
Yeah.
And I really like that, you know, I asked for answers, and I feel like we got a little answer as to why The Fiend keeps attacking the legends.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Well, and Revelations is about the end of the world, the end of the WWE. I don't know, something like that. And The Fiend, the demon, rises and all that. So we'll see. All right, and then we end the show with this 10-man tag. What do you want to see? You can take this.
Yeah, no,
I thought it was a kind
I
of
agree
ending.
with you that it was kind of a dud. That's why I think they should have ended with the 4 Horsewomen thing that
it wasn't a bad match. It was just a dud.
It was not a bad match by any means.
No.
It was just it was just kind of like there.
Yeah.
We'd already seen Cedric Alexander and AJ Styles wrestle earlier. I just don't think it necessarily was this awesome match. I will say that I love that they gave Cedric Alexander the pin over AJ Styles in MSG. That's a huge deal.
Of course it is.
People were kind of poo-pooing it when I tweeted that last night. I said, like, you know, Cedric Alexander being given a win over AJ Styles has to show how highly the WWE thinks of him right now. And people are like, oh, they gave Ali a win over Daniel Bryan, or oh, this and that and the other, or Buddy Murphy, blah, blah. But like, look at those people were clearly highly regarded in the company too for those wins. They wouldn't just give that to someone they don't regard highly.
Right.
And I thought it was a huge thing for him. And the beer bath at the end was awesome.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. That was so much fun. Great way to end in terms of having Stone Cold come out. We wish it would have been Becky, but you know.
I also like that I believe Eric Rowe.
Yeah.
I hate that we still have to call him a different name. Eric. I think he's Eric.
Yeah.
He's straight edge too.
Yeah.
So it made me laugh, like where he's like pouring beer, but you could clearly see he's got his mouth closed because he doesn't want to drink it and stuff. That made me laugh too. But no, all in all, fun segment. Fun, good ending. Yeah, exactly. I don't think it was like the best way to close the MSG show, but good to have Cedric Alexander being positioned in a huge way like that, and then fun to have Stone Cold come out and have a beer celebration.
It may just be the ladies didn't want to do a beer bath. Maybe the ladies were like, no, we don't want to do that.
I find that hard to believe.
Okay. All right. It's just something to think about, maybe.
Yeah, no, I could be wrong, but I find that hard to believe.
All right, fair enough. All right, that's our recap for Raw here on Pro Wrestling Sheet. Thank you all so much for watching or listening to us. If you're listening to us on the podcast feeds, very kind of you. Ryan, you want to tell them where they can watch, listen, and read everything we do?
ProWrestlingSheet.com. That's where you can find all the stories and the top stories in the world of professional wrestling throughout the week. At Wrestling Sheet on social media, youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. That's where you can find the Raw and SmackDown recaps that we do, any interviews that I post, and Wrestling Sheet Radio with me and my friends every Thursday. Make sure you subscribe to the page while you're there. Make sure you like the videos. Make sure you comment. I appreciate it very much. But also, if you just want to listen to the audio of these shows while you're driving, cooking, working out, doing whatever, make sure you subscribe on our podcast feed as well. It's on all the major podcast platforms. Just search Wrestling Sheet Radio.
There you go. That's all you need to know. You can follow him at Ryan Satin. Follow me at The Rocha Says. Let us know what you thought about Raw. And remember, tomorrow we got a SmackDown Live recap show coming from Pro Wrestling Sheet as well. Until then, have a good Tuesday, and we'll talk to you soon.